Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Week.
A little bit older than you.
I'm not touching this topic. I'm not touching it.
Yeah. Mediocre, mid-table, rabble.
So I just want to be able to talk as much
If you
crap.
play a night game, he has to turn the bloodlines on.
No one would have believed that he would keep his job for as long as he had.
The Wednesday Week! Hello, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Wednesday Week. Tonight, joining me, I've got Ash, Stevie, and Hollie, and there is a lot of things happening over at S6. There's so much to get through tonight, and Ash is begging to run over on time tonight, and is going to tease me about it when I start twitching around 9 p.m. My name's Dan Fudge, and welcome to the show. If you please could like and subscribe our channel. I've never said that before in my life, and it seems really weird saying it, and I feel like one of those 20-year-olds what does say it. I'm on the back of what's been one of the most tumultuous weekends of my life. I had to do some actual work this weekend, and I've got many a filter on this square if you are watching live on the internet, because my face needs ironing. How was your weekend, Stevie? What did you get up to? Anything special? Anything fun?
No, it's just been quite quiet, really. I didn't make it out to Alfreton like certain other people did. But yeah, it's just been nice and low key. Getting to the back end of a very long year at work, and I'm looking forward to a 6-week summer off, because I'm one of them teachers that don't do any work in June, July, August.
Yeah, you have it easy, you teachers, don't you? It's renowned. It's renowned.
PE teachers as well. We make it worse, because all I need is cones and a whistle.
I get it. What about you, H? And you went for Alfreton, which I assume we're going to get into later on. Yeah,
I certainly did. Which was brilliant, and we'll talk about that in a bit, I think. Can I just say that intro is like when I was younger and the adverts came on the telly, and you had like a certain amount of time to go for a wee. And as soon as it starts counting down, even if I don't need a wee, I feel like I need a wee. Do you know what I mean? Yep. Like that's your time limit. I start panicking. Right,
so it's 94 seconds long. Is that countdown and then the intro? So if you can squirt one out in that amount of time,
even if I don't need anything, I start thinking, what do I need? Do I need to go to the shops and buy like random, like whatever it is? What can I fit into that time? Because it's counting down. It's the pressure. I can't handle it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And what about you, Ash? How's your weekend gone, pal? All right, yeah?
Yes, mate. Yeah. I had to venture into deepest, darkest Rotherham on Saturday night. I went to go see the Ratons at Clifton Park.
Did you have your shots before you went?
No, I only had a couple of pints. I'm trying to be healthy, mate. I'm in pre-season training.
I didn't mean them shots. I meant any vaccinations that you might need to have before you...
Well, that's where my mind goes, doesn't it? Ollie's on show, isn't it? Ollie's on show. That's what when us four are on away day, that's usually what happens, isn't it? So
yeah. So listen, we've got an absolute shed load to get through this evening. So I'm gonna have to chew through it as much as possible. Now, there's been some comings and some. We haven't had any goings yet, have we? There was an article by Alex Miller today talking that we might have to show some players the exit. Now, Ash tonight will be manning the comments. So if you do want to get involved. Excuse me, bit of windy pops. If you do want to get involved, by all means, write us a comment if whatever medium you're watching this through. Now, Stevie, I think this is one of the biggest pieces of biggest piece of business we've done. This I forgot English. It's been a long weekend. It's been a very long weekend. One of the best pieces of business we've done over the summer, and that is to secure the services of Josh Windass for another couple of seasons. This is mega, isn't it, Stevie?
Yeah, it's a real signal of intent. Certainly because the rumours were that he'd not necessarily be keen on staying, and he'd had his head turned, and he was potentially looking at going elsewhere. And we had the whole contract turned down. Of the course, the period of his wedding. Only he will know, and people close to him will know how close he was to moving on. But it just feels like at the minute it's a sea change in the business that's been done, and I think we're a much better and more attractive proposition with the management team that we've got at the minute. And I think he has stayed for one or two different reasons in that management setup, but it's a real sort of signal of intent, isn't it?
Hollie, do you feel that obviously Danny Rule is going to be a big factor in Josh signing? Did I say Dean earlier on? I don't know. It's a mistake I kind of make a lot with Josh signing and Rule's involvement, but also some of the signings we've made as well. There is definitely a statement of intent in the way the club wants to operate next season and how high that we want to finish and the rest of it. Do you think that would have been a factor in Josh signing on again?
I don't know. We talked about it before about maybe he might stay if other people stay, and most people have stayed, so that might be it. But also there might be a bit of a factor like he don't want to miss out. If this is the best season that we have for quite a while, he might not want to miss out on it. If he goes somewhere else and we're absolutely fantastic, he does strike me as the kind of guy who wants to be a bit of a hero, which obviously he has been for us. So maybe he might want to see if he can do that again. I have to say, I think it's strange because it sort of dragged on a little bit, didn't it? From our point of view, from fans' point of view, it dragged on quite a while. When you factor in that he did get married and had his honeymoon and whatever else in that, it probably didn't really drag on the actual amount of time that he'll have spent talking about his contract. It sort of dragged on, and the more it goes on, more fans get restless and go, well, if you don't want to sign for us, then fuck him off or whatever. So I feel like I ummed and ahed about it, and then by the time it sort of happened, I thought, well, I don't know if I'm bothered anymore. But I think I probably am. And we will come on to the Alfreton thing, but his goal at Alfreton were a bit of a still got it.
Yeah, it was an absolute beauty, wasn't it? Ash, before I get your opinion on it, what are the interwebs saying, brother? What's what we all talking about? Are we all happy with that out there?
Yeah, that's pretty positive. So we've got Matt, glad he stayed, obviously on about Windass. Mad Ward, pleased with this one. Well done, Danny. So everyone's agreeing with it, I think.
I love the way it's well done, Danny, when it's something positive, but when it's something rubbish, it's DC, you're bloody rubbish. What's about to be?
I think most people wanted him to stay, and the people who didn't. Yeah, I know. I thought that when I said it. Sorry. Somebody calling me out for swearing very early on. I think the people who didn't want him to sign were doing that like jilted ex thing, and they're going, well, if he don't want us, we don't want him in his shit. Oh, sorry, did it again.
We just need the C word, and she's got the hat-trick, haven't we? Hey?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Hollie bingo.
Hollie bingo.
Move on, someone else talk.
I've just come up with an idea there. Thanks for that, Stevie. Yeah. I'll say my 2p worth on Windass. How I see it was, I'm glad he stayed. I know people have got his reservations about how many games he's going to play in a season. And I think that I look at it as we do need to bring in quite a few players in all different positions. And if Windass is going to sign a new contract, you're only paying out for contract, and he is a championship player. I do believe he's a championship player. And how much would it cost contract-wise or transfer-wise to replace him, like for like, or even better? Because that's what we're looking at, aren't we? We're trying to improve the squad. So if Windass did leave, then the costs, well, I think, would be a hell of a lot more. And plus, he's been, what is he there now? He's been here 3.5 years now, something like that. I think he's settled. He's just been married. His personal circumstances. I'm glad he's stayed, and I do think he does offer that little bit of X factor. He has got that arrogance that you do want from probably your match winners, and I do think he's got that. I think he's a good re-signing, should I say?
Yeah, he really is. He really is. I still like the way he's still trying to be quite cryptic, but that was a hell of an announcement, weren't it, Ash? The way we just managed to slide him in on the away kit and on the away kit launch. That was a fun one.
I think the admin, the Chef Wednesday admin, have upped the game in the last. Well, we've said it last 18 months, but I think this off season, I think they have took a leaf out of Burnley's book into it. I think that's who we're trying to
Let's be honest. I've made quite a song and dance about this exact thing, and they must have seen my Valerie video and gone, "I'll tell you what, we should be doing more stuff like that." And then they've upped the game, and game on now, admin. Game on. Stu's doubled down on you, H, and said, it's the podcast equivalent of getting him in early doors. So you set that tone, Hollie. He was actually genuinely thinking it was lovely stuff. You drop in early doors F-bomb. So, that's lovely stuff. That is lovely stuff. And Sharman's gone with the boy has swaz, and he's also agreeing with you as well, Ash. So that's nice, isn't it? Right. Yeah. So, Stevie, Josh has signed, and I must admit, I think it's a great acquisition, and I agree with you, Ash, that the cost to replace him would have been more than what we've negotiated with him, if that makes sense. Same also with Dominic Iorfa, also signed an extension to his contract. Stevie, this for me is right up there with a new signing for me, and I know that I've always derided the phrase "it'll be like having a new signing" when somebody returns back from injury. However, in this situation, I think Dominic Iorfa is a great one to get over the line. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I totally agree. Big fan. He's got all the tools, and I think when he has a run in the side, and we keep him fit, he's an absolute. He's an absolute acquisition for us in the sense that he offers those bits that other people in that back line don't necessarily. He's got a little bit of the X factor. He's got the pace that gets him out of the shit. Okay, he's touching always great, but he's he's able to recover when he's having a run in the team, and he gets to play week in, week out, and he's feeling confident. And I've said this before, he strikes me very much as a confident player. If he wins his first tackle in the game, he's going to go and play well. If there's a situation where he makes a mistake, he plays on him a little bit, and I think we've got to factor that in. And I think we've got the right management team to sort of deal with that. But he's very rarely under rule put a foot wrong, and I know we've talked in the past, and we talk about a certain other sort of favourite player of mine getting much maligned for the mistakes he's made historically. I think there was a period of time where Iorfa was he was called out for a couple of sort of poor games under the previous management regimes. I think it's an excellent signing. I think he's fit, he's athletic, he's a big old unit. He offers something that we don't have, and I think he can play in a variety of positions across the back line. He can play centre half, he can play right back, he can play right wing back, whatever formation we end up rolling out. I think Iorfa's an absolute, he's a great signing for us, and he's going to supplement the squad really well.
He really is, and I know you're a big fan of his as well, aren't you, H?
Were you on about me, Stevie, calling him out? No, what I actually always said is in League One, he's absolutely rubbish. In the chat, the better we are, the better he is. So, for some unknown reason, the better we are, the better he is. So if we're going to be better, I expect him to get even better than he was last season. So I'm happy with that. I've never known us just be so chill and let someone's contract just lapse and then be like, oh crap, I offer, and then like getting to re-sign though. Normally, if you re-sign someone, you do it like before that happens, but we're just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, it's been a mainstay under Deponchan series tenure, hasn't it? To let essentially virtually let the contracts expire and then go, oh wait, has that thing happened? I tell you what, he'd be bloody rubbish at playing Football Manager. They've already signed for PSG. Everybody that he's got under the belt. Now, Ash, there is one contract remaining. Now, this one's a big one, isn't it? The remaining contract that's floating out there that's the boy himself, one of our standout players from our survival season last season. I mean, there's been a lot of rumours of him going to play at a higher level. Do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, I just want to, before that, I just want to say we said about the announcement videos for things. The one for Iorfa was, chef's kiss. Absolute brilliant. And I retweeted it. I made a comment going, oh my God, Beadle's signing. And everyone went, oh, you not listened? Do you know? No, that's Iorfa, fastest man in Yorkshire. And I was like, I know. I was doing a bit of fishing.
I'll not lie. that really annoyed me because that song, Blackburn Rovers used to sing it about Richie Smallwood, and you've got to get the, like any good chant, you've got to get the syllables in, right? And they go, buddy, we've got Richie Smallwood, and I was like, that's really good. I'm going to try and steal that. So I tried to get it going about Juiced Van Aken, and this is going to shock you. Didn't catch on.
Why not, Daniel?
I know it. Shocking information. I'm clutching my pearls just thinking about it.
What we were on about last week about putting all your eggs in the wrong basket.
Yeah. So 2010 kit, Julian Bennett on the back of it. One of the best songs we've had in a number of years. I'm trying to launch it about Juice Van Aken.
On the behind training, the first bit there, they showed Dom walking through the doors. I think it was just after he announced him, and then obviously he walked through doors for the first day training, and they're all going, "Oh, welcome back, big man," and all that. And I'm like, they do know he's coming, don't they? The players talk to each other, don't they? Or do they not?
Yeah.
Is it like
there'll be a group chat somewhere?
Yeah. It'll be straight on that, and it's like, oh, is it for the camera? Because I think Bannon went, "Oh my god, big man," like that. And I'm like, surely Bannon knew it was going to be signing.
Yeah, because you can straight in the group chat and go, "Guess who's coming back, lads? Hold tight the crew." You know what I mean?
And then, or if you're, I don't know, if you're Will Volks, it just says Will has left the group.
Do you think he gives one of those big speeches? Like whenever somebody leaves a group chat, lads, it's been great. I wish you well, and blah blah blah. And then they hang there. There'll be a player that hangs there. Like a decent player. Volks will have waited and they'll applaud it. And then Ashley Fletcher or Jeff Hendrick would have had, lads, it's been great knowing you. It's been an absolute pleasure. And then just waits. And then a day later, quietly leaves the group without any sort of response.
About 4 in the morning.
Removes him.
Oh.
Yeah. I go, listen, I'm going to clean this group chat up now, lads. This has been a pleasure. See you later. You know what I mean? Whereas Ashley Fletcher would have done that they've done about Elise today from leaving Crystal Palace, and someone edited up an Instagram post that just said, "Man's gone in it." And I reckon Ashley Fletcher would have done something like that. You know what I mean? I reckon that's what would have happened. Right then, Ashley, I'm going to come back to you again on this one because I know you're going to be very, very happy about this this next one. We didn't get to Dishon, did we? Do we actually talk about it?
Yeah, no. I want to say about Iorfa. Dishon, he's the one that's outstanding, isn't he, for the recontracting. I thought he was outstanding last season. I really, really do hope he signs. I'm one of them that if he doesn't and he goes on to bigger and better things, then fair play to him. Is used his time at Sheffield Wednesday, put himself in the shop window. There's a reason why he only signed one season. That might have been Sheffield Wednesday. You never know, do you? It might have been we're going to have a look at you and all that. But I think if it come to January, and I know it was a bit of a sticky start to the season, but even coming up to January, offer him something or talk to him, it might have been going on. You never know, do you? He's been busy with the
Jamaican national team
in America. So I'm not surprised it's took this long for a decision. I can't wait for him to sign. I think he will. I really do. I think you said about the other players with Windass. You've seen Windass sign. You've seen us being very active in the transfer market, which to a player that must be great because Danny signed as well. Bannon signed. That's it, isn't it?
We're just chucking contracts out like Oprah Winfrey on the settee. Just back to the group chat there. Stu Williams has gone with admin has removed Ashley Fletcher, which I really enjoy as a comment there. What were you going to add there, Stevie? You were going to add something on?
No, I was just going to say in terms of Bernard, it's a real sort of coup, isn't it? That we're talking about a player, and as Ash has rightly said, if he leaves us this summer, he's going to go to a team that is higher in terms of status, and that could potentially.
If he leaves us for somebody like Derby County, I'll be mad. You know what I mean? I'll be quite upset about that.
But for me, he is a Premier League player. I genuinely believe that. I look at the defenders that are playing their trades at the top end. If he's not Premier League, he's playoff and above, 6 and above Championship. He's that sort of standard, isn't he? He's an international centre half playing, and we've done really, really well to get him over the line last year. And he's had a phenomenal season. When we had the chat at the end of the season, I said he was my player of the year. I didn't think we would retain him 3 months ago. I didn't think he'd sign on. And the fact that we're talking now about him potentially signing, or there'd be rumours that he's signing again, it just, again, goes to that positivity around the club, that where we were at Christmas versus where we were at Easter versus where we were when we were in that relegation battle to where we are now, everything just seems to be going in the right direction. And I think he would be the marquee. And I know we've talked about Windass, we've talked about Bannon and Palmer. Bannon and Palmer, with the greatest of respect, they're part of the furniture. Windass is within that sort of that area of he's been here for a while. Yeah. Whereas Bernard, who other teams have been caught in and other teams are looking at, and that's no secret, there are teams out there that want to sign Deshaun Bernard. If he stays with us, that just tells you how attractive a proposition we are for players coming in, whether that be because of the manager, whether that be because of the shift in what's going on. I just think it's great and it's really exciting. He would be the one for me, regardless of his ability, but in terms of status, if we manage to secure Deshaun Bernard's contract next year, get ready.
Get ready. Hold tight. It's
Hold
happening.
on to your hats, boys.
You've not spoke for about 5 minutes. And
I got excited while they were talking about it. I got excited. It made me go all fluttery inside. I'm ready.
Well, I tell you what, H, why don't you lead us into talking about our new goalkeeping acquisition? Probably going to have the #1 shirt for the season again. Go on. Let's talk about it. He looks like the Joker with no makeup on. He's built like a string bean. Tell me about James Beadle. This is a mega signing, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like
I can't believe you just started with I can't.
No, because I think
what did you want it to go? Fuck yeah!
Yes, it's Hollie. That's exactly what I expect.
One guy at Sunderland that all.
We've lost her.
Did you get excited and her internet cut out? Is that what's happening?
She did.
Ashley,
Yeah.
Hollie,
She's back.
left you there.
You're back.
You said, other than that one guy that wanted to get rid of him at Sunderland, and
No,
then you had an unflattering pose on the internet.
Sorry, there was one guy at Sunderland who all the way through the game sang "One More Year, James Beadle" on his own, and then by the end, out of sympathy, other people joined in. But I feel like no one actually thought it was on the cards. I think very early on, people were saying he was going to go to Rangers or wherever, somewhere else, and I don't think anyone actually thought he was going to come. So people have been talking about different goalkeepers that we might want. Obviously, then we signed Heyman and everybody thought, oh, okay, that's not really what we thought, but fair enough. So I don't think anyone actually thought we were going to get him.
Doesn't it almost feel like there was a plan that was there all along, and that Hamer's coming, and there was a plan that we were going to get Hamer in? And I know that Simon was on the other week and has talked about Hamer potentially transitioning into a coaching role, and the fact that he speaks fluent German and so on and so forth. I don't know whether or not that's the case, but we have signed Hamer, and it's like the big reveal now, and he's not been signed for the first choice. There's a bigger plan, and there's some blue sky thinking of Sheffield Wednesday, and we've got him, but we knew that somebody else was coming in, because there's no way we sign, with due respect to Hamer, at his age, we've not signed him and gone, right, you're going to compete with Beadle. You're coming in, and that your role will be quite specific, and this is what you're here for. So for me, it's another one of those things that, as time goes on, it's like a story, isn't it, where everything starts to unravel. And I genuinely believe that if we don't get other players that we've been linked to, whether that be Pavida, whether it be Ugbo, whether it be the Cabba, or whoever it is that we've been linked to, if we don't get those players, I'm all right with it. And the reason I'm all right with it is because we've got people out there that have gone, right, this is our recruitment, this is what we need. If we don't get plan A, here's plan B, and this is what we're going to do. And I think it will all be in place.
There's actually a master plan, isn't there? And
we've
pulled off 90% of it, I think.
I think things will be in place within the next 10 days. I think he's going out there with 90% of his first choice squad. His final squad for the season is going to Germany, Austria.
Yeah. I think we thought we were only going to sign like 2 or 3 people. And bizarrely, we've signed loads of people and we're nowhere near the start of the season yet. And it's all a bit straight. The planets are all aligning. It's a bit weird.
Lots happening. I tell you what, Stevie, talking about that master plan, did you ever used to watch Lost, right? It used to frustrate me to death, right? So this, if you weren't there, kids, you had to be there, right? It was like 2004 to about 2010, and you had to be there. And we spent an entire first season waiting to see what was down a hole. I genuinely don't understand why people watch it back, but that's another podcast I do.
No.
Now, in that show, there was a lot of times when their stories would have intertwined in the past. And when they start having a tear up in the show, you go like, all of this would have been avoided if you'd have just had a big frank chat. If you'd have just gone, hey, aren't you that guy from that? Yeah, I am. Yeah. Oh, Christ. How weird is that? Like, full and frank, open discussions and open conversations would have, negated the need to have all this furore. And I feel like this summer has been like one big long episode of Lost. If we'd have just had some clear and frank comms, some clear and frank conversations, everybody on the internet would be like, "Yeah, it's happening. We're all right. We'll get there in the end." Like,
mate, as long as our season doesn't finish up like Lost finished up, or the other one that I was going to go to, I'm going to say it. Have you ever seen Seven?
Yeah.
My God.
What with Danny Rule's head in a box?
Yeah, that's how.
What's in the box?
A head in a box.
But the planning, everything's planned and it's all set up. Is the point I'm trying to get to? By God, I hope we don't end up with Danny Rule's head in a box, or gluttony, or.
I haven't seen Lost. I haven't seen Lost.
So
are you telling me that the final episode of Lost is that Wednesday get promoted to the Premier League?
Yes, that's how it finishes. That's how it finishes. One of the hobbits dies, and one of the hobbits dies. Yeah, one of the hobbits dies. He drowns, and he's doing a concert, and Sheffield Wednesday get promoted. That's how Lost finished in 2010. Right. That's how it happened. What we're doing? Are we still recording? Right then.
Oh God, where did that go?
I know, innit? Ash, have you got anything to add about James Beadle and some comments from the internet?
Yeah, I am one of those guys that you look around. Look, I don't know what's happening in transfer. I don't look at all the teams and things.
It's an episode of Lost, Ash.
No. Was
that not clear?
I'm on about Beadle. And you look around us, who we're going to bring. So obviously had a great season, half season last season. And you look at who we're going to bring in. Dawson's been moved on. He needed to for both for the club and for the player. Pierce Charles looking great, but still too young. But you're saying that, well, he's only like 7 months younger than Beadle or something daft like that, isn't it? So he's not that young, and we're putting all our faith into a guy that's only a bit older. But the way he played, the way he came in as a young guy, and I think another 12 months, well, nearly 12 months with Danny Rule and the backroom staff, and I think he's gonna crack on. He did have, for me, Beadle did have some kicking issues, but I'm sure he'll be working on them like anyone, isn't it? But I'm glad he's come back. Really am. I don't think there's any wouldn't see many people giving him the shit that other keepers have had. Daniel.
Is that never you mind? Listen, I think Cameron Dawson moving to Rotherham, like you say, Ashley, is a very good move for him and for the for his career, for his development. He doesn't have to move out. He's all right. I think that's a great move for him, and I think they'll absolutely love him. What about the internet? What's being said on there?
We have Mad Ward. Loss was batshit crazy.
It was.
So that is Sheffield Wednesday. Then there we go. We've got that one. Stu Williams has gone with the tried and tested gag that's has been done now.
I tell you what, after Jeremy Beadle passed away, a man essentially famous for having a terrible beard, one hand bigger than the other, and televised pranks where they used to bleep out the swearing. In fact, we should get you one of them boxers, Hollie, where every time they dropped an F-bomb, a little cloud with those symbols that you get like in comics would appear over their mouth. And I feel like if we get you one of them, we could market this podcast to a younger audience, but we can't. Cause Hollie. So
kit's out on time. Manager sorted early doors. Signings before pre-season. Don't feel like the Wendy's, does it? And I think on social media, that's a lot in it. People are saying that a lot. People that followed the club for years and years and aren't used to this sort of positivity and forward planning, thinking, especially with the owner we've got as well in past seasons. It's
look. Would you put that one up from Robbo there? Just second from bottom there, Ash. It says we still need to strengthen the centre midfield position. Now, I agree with you, Robbo. However, I'm not concerned. As Stevie said, there's clearly a plan in place. It could be the last piece of the puzzle. We just chuck it in, and there we are. HMS Pista League has set sail, kids. That's going to get clipped in it. That's going to be on the internet by the end of the season. Tongue in cheek.
It's all the positivity and obviously getting the deals done and everything. And there's some players we've brought in, obviously like Olaf and Ingelsson, who are unknowns to people. Are they putting people like? It doesn't matter what Danny Rule has seen or his backroom staff have seen. The players that they're bringing in, you're confident that the centre midfield position or whatever positions I think we still need another centre back as well. But confident that he's going to bring them in because that's what it feels like, doesn't it? And
there's a plan. There's a plan, Ash.
Yeah. As long as I hope it doesn't involve bloody Patrick Bamford. That's all I'm thinking about. Someone
I don't know. But big posh Patrick Bamford, who clearly enjoys a frothy coffee, would be a great signing. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's mental that we're even being linked with him. If I'm honest, I find that a bit nuts. Now, moving on to new signings, there were a couple out on display yesterday over the weekend. Hollie was there with the women's supporters group. Hollie, the floor is yours. Tell us about your day from start to finish. How boshed up did you get? How early did you start on the shots? Did anybody pee themselves?
So I forgot my alcohol for the train. I ran around Wakefield like Challenge Annika, trying to find a shit news agent.
80s telly is getting quite the reference in this evening, isn't it?
I honestly was running around, found a shit news agent, ran in, looked at every single shelf really fast. They didn't sell alcohol, but then I panicked and I had to go back for the train. I have hurt my leg. So I was just hobbling around on the train like.
Oh yeah, so you went for a Challenge Annika. What was it? Medieval Zone Crystal Maze style Crypto Factor challenge. I just thought I'd get some more 80s tellers in there for you kids. Whilst your knee was in strapping.
That's it, yeah. And I couldn't find any alcohol to ease the pain. But I did meet up with plenty of the women's supporters group. So if anybody wants to join the Away Day Network, please do. There is a link on X to join that. It's really good. If you've never been to an away game before and you are a woman that wants to try, some new people came to Alfreton as their first most glamorous away day so far.
Before you get any further, H, there was a couple. You were talking about Wakefield then. Nat says he's from Wakey, and then Matt Strickland said, "Did you go? Wakey Wines? Nat, did you go to Wakey Wines? Get to Wakey Wines. Everybody's excited about Wakey Wines. Did you not go to Wakey?
Yeah, £500 bottle of Prime or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Wakey Wines is too far away for the leg. But when we got to the ground, there was a substantial queue, and then someone just sort of stopped us off where we were and went, "No, go that way." And they made us go away from the ground and walk through a park for quite a while, so you couldn't even see the ground anymore. And then we had to queue up to go into some bushes, which it's never let me down in the past, but I feel like there should have been like someone at least telling us that's definitely the right way. Eventually we got in. I will say that is the most I have seen an away shirt on display at a preseason game. Like everybody was in the orange.
Very popular,
which I'm sure we'll come to. But yeah, everybody was in the orange. The home kit didn't look so bad in real life, so I will reserve judgment on that. But the new players, Olaf looked really good. Ingelsson looked really good. Obviously, you can't really see what they were really like because I feel like in both halves of the game, the players were specifically told not to run at Alfreton and have to do so many passes and things. Like we had both wingers on and they didn't run at them at any point. They like passed it into the box and stuff, which I personally have never seen Wednesday do before. So there you go. There was a young centre-half that came on in the second half who looked really lively. I can't remember his name, so forgive me, but he looked really good.
He's the kid from. I think he was released by Burnley. He's been with us since sort of February time.
That's him. He came on, and immediately all you could hear above everybody was him organising the defence and stuff. And he looked quite young, so it was quite interesting to see him immediately just go into that role. But yeah, the new signings looked good. All of them looked good. Like I said earlier, Josh Windass scoring into the red zone.
Hell of a finish. Hell of a finish. Now, one of my favourite things about Josh Windass is he thinks he's really cryptic and really cool, but he ends up just looking like a bit of a twat. And like when he put that in top bins, there is not one person in the world, regardless of who you're scoring it against, isn't walking away going, in it, have some of that in, you know what I mean? And you can see he wants to absolutely rip his shirt off and dive into the crowd because that was a hell of a finish. And he's, fair play to him managing to keep his beans together. But come on, you silly bollocks, you can celebrate that one, pal.
There was a couple of moments like that, and everybody went, "Oh!" And there was a couple of moments from Bannon where everybody made that same noise, and you just think it's a preseason friendly against Alfreton, but also. Totally, yeah, get it. I think the Wilkes scored. One of the
I forgot he was still there.
Yeah. Other than that, he was not great. One of the women's supporters group gals that was there with her daughter, and she had a DHgate shirt on, and she'd made a bit of a mishap and tried to put a number on, and it had automatically put Wilkes on the back. So she was like, just tell her he's good. Tell her he's really good. And then obviously he scored. So we were like, so she's gone in early with the ruining your shirt thing.
That's good. A mate of mine got a DHgate special, a Blackburn Rovers shirt, and he didn't fill out the box properly where he didn't delete the text. And so he got it for his daughter, and it now says, all in one word, your name, Maisie, number 9. Oh. I
think he's Swedish.
Look, he's cheap. Yeah. New signing. What about Valerie? Did you see much of him?
He played the first half. Yes, yeah, he looked really good. But like I said, they were really, especially in the first half, they were really reserved. Bannon was on, Windass was on, so like the main team were on for the first half. So he was really reserved, I would say. But he looked really good. I can't complain about any of the new signings. I'd be interested to see him against a little bit of a better opposition, but I don't think we're going to do that till the start of the season, are we?
Well, that was a perfect segue because we've announced some friendlies coming up in Austria. Thank you, Hollie, by the way. That was that was a lovely segue. I didn't want to let it go. Have you got anything to add before I move to Ash to talk about these friendlies?
Nope. Go ahead.
And if anybody wants to get in touch with the Women's Supporters Group, do you know where to find them and what to do? Is it Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? Is it all of the socials?
All the guys, yes. Yeah.
Are you going to go and list the socials like Simon does?
All the social media.
We're on all the social medias.
I'm pretty sure it's SWFC WSG on all the social medias.
On your YouTubes and your social media.
I'll retweet because I know they did tweet a thing out. I'll retweet if I haven't already. I'll retweet it out later.
Definitely worth joining the Away Day Network. Obviously, sometimes people can't get to games, home and away games, and they can sort of shuffle things around. So it's worth joining.
Thank you, H. Appreciate it. Ashley,
Daniel.
I was going to say something. I've forgotten what the question was going to be. Friendlies. There we are. Austria, Werder Bremen, and Salzburg. We're not going to get our German away day, are we? It's not happening. I was excited if it was going to be Hamburg, Dortmund, Cologne, where we've been, Ash. I thought it might have been one of them. Turns out, no.
No.
What have you got the dates up, or have I just put you on the spot there?
It's the 20th, I believe, for the first game against Salzburg, and the 26th, Friday, 1 o'clock kickoff, I believe it is. So if you are going to try and get there, it's going to be a fair old trek, because the first one is behind closed doors against Salzburg, or the Austrian equivalent of Leeds United now, apparently, aren't they? So with them, and then against Werder Bremen, an open, a nice little step. I've seen some photos of the stadium; it looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's the one who put the mountain in it.
Yeah, it looks very picturesque if you like that sort of stuff.
I'm sure we'll find a way to ruin it once we get there.
So it's it's a training camp. I think people did expect a bit more easier to get to location, and because it is quite costly if you're thinking of getting out there. I had a look today while I was at work because I'm really busy.
What we're talking?
Oh, well, if you're flying direct into, I think it was into Munich, and it's about 2.5 hours, 2 hours train down. You're talking a couple £100 for a flight. Then you've got beer and hotels and stuff. You're talking quite a bit to follow the Wednesday, but nothing that people aren't used to over the last few years with ticket prices at our club. So it's probably a drop in the ocean. Yeah.
There's I tell you what, I weren't going to go to Spain. So that Real Murcia trip last year, I weren't going to go. I'm like, I'm not going. And then as time went on, I'm like, I really want to go Spain. You know what I mean? It might be fun. If I just go to Spain for a day, that might be hilarious. I'll be a top lad. So what I did, come in. I'll come in closer. There was a girl I took out on a date about 18 months prior to this game, and she was a they don't call them air stewardesses anymore, do they call them flight attendant? She was a flight attendant for a well-known airline that dressed in orange, and she got a text from me 18 months later. Went, don't suppose you can get me a cheap flight to Spain, can you? Oh, I had done, yeah, £20 flights. Bosh! Yeah, totally worth it. I might text her again a year later and go, oh, hey, how's it going? See how that works.
Yeah,
are we cutting that for socials?
Yeah. Well, I'll send it to her. Listen, you're Twitter famous now. Can you come through with the goods here or what? So if you see me in Germany, I've crossed over a dark plane there. Just while I've got you, H, you and your leg. Does that mean you're now registered disabled in some capacity?
Wow.
I'm just checking.
Are you playing podcast bingo?
Yeah, because I feel like with this episode alone, if Hollie counts as disabled, I'm gonna put myself forward for a diversity award. That was a weird segue into make sure you vote for us at the Football Content Awards. We'll post it onto the socials.
Wow.
Move on.
Oh,
move on.
I had a lot going on there. Right then.
Remember that time when we were voted behind something else on a Twitter poll?
In it.
It's going well.
These are the reasons why, Daniel Fudge.
That's why, innit? Yeah, fair point. Cameron Dawson was right. I might get that on a t-shirt. Olaf Kubicki is signed. Don't know much about him. Nobody does. Hollie said he played all right. Max Lowe played against Alfreton. Hollie, how did that go?
Are we going back to Alfreton? They all played fabulous.
Good having listened. All right, lovely. Right then. Now, a bit earlier than usual.
Get that bottom comment on.
What's that? Go on. That was a PC minefield. Well recovered. Thanks, Stu. I very rarely tread over the line. I do a moonwalk on it, but I don't tread over the line. That's the very important message to learn.
Move on.
So
move on.
Shall we move on?
Let's move on. 5 minutes earlier than what it is. Brace yourself, kids.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
It's our new segment. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors up. Euro 2024. England have found themselves into the semi-finals somehow after another lackluster display from Gareth Southgate. And I wanted to get your thoughts and feelings on it. Is it coming home, or are we going to fart around the poo and flirt with disaster and inevitably drop our arse on penalties? Go for it, Fudge, Ashley.
Can just, if we've got, this is the last time you're going to be playing that, can you not just put a warning because I listened to last week's podcast while I was driving.
The shit out of me.
And it absolutely scared the shite out of me. It did. I was driving along, and there was a boom. All like, oh my God. Like
my brother texted me this morning. Went, I'm on a train, and I thought it had crashed. It just because of the you're only supposed to.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, it was.
Right then, go on, Ash.
Got away with it, didn't we? Saturday night.
We did.
It was awful, really awful. But they find a way, and if penalties is the way, then you go through to the next round. Don't matter how bad you play, does it? I think France have only scored 1 goal from open play, and their XG is horrendous. So I think I don't think it's been a good tournament at all for various reasons, and it doesn't help when your country you support play rubbish as well. But hey,
I tell you
the guys did the job.
It's the sign of a tournament, in it, when the most excited team has been Georgia. You know what I mean? They were great to watch. And you're right about France. I think the only team that are looking like they are exciting at the minute is Spain. However, Stevie, this has been said a lot on the radio and on the medias of late in reference to those teams that play great and constantly play great don't tend to win the tournament. Is that necessarily true? Or do you have to win ugly to win a tournament? I'm talking about Greece. I'm talking about Denmark in terms of the Euros themselves. I'm talking about France. I'm talking about the last World Cup. Things like, things such as that. Is this part of a plan to keep it tight, keep it tepid, keep it languid? Just let's not get any injuries and let's just get through it, because I've heard this phrase a million times. Will people care if we win the trophy, how badly we played? I don't think I'll care, but I think I will remember it for a very long time, just how shit the football was.
Yeah, and I kind of concur with everything that you've just said in that sort of lead in there. I don't think there's a plan. I don't think there's an intention to play shit. I just think it's the way that this manager sets up. And I've got no axe to grind with Gareth Southgate, and with the greatest will in the world. He's in position, and he will go down in history as one of our greatest ever managers because of his record. He's won more knockout games than anybody else since 1966 combined. I think I said this. I replied to a mate of mine yesterday. You could put 4 or 5 coaches in that job and they would do a better job. Eddie Howe would do a better job. Graham Potter would do a better job. I genuinely believe it, because I genuinely believe that they're more progressive coaches than Gareth Southgate is. And I think they've done it at club level to a point where he didn't. And I from my point of view, I'm not necessarily fussed about the way that we play. If we win if we win the tournament, we are living in a generation where I watch my team, my country win a competition, and that's the idea, isn't it? That's what we want. And I will watch the final, and on Sunday night, if we get to the final, and I'm sat there with Molly, and we are watching the game together, and she's sitting there, and she, puts her own little shirt on, and she does her own little bits. That'll be a memory that I will have in 20, 25 years, all being well, with my daughter when she's grown up, and she'll be able to tell her kids that, once upon a time we won a tournament. That's what it's about for me in terms of being a fan of the country. I'm not overly enamored with the way that we play. I'm not, and I think we could do better. And I think we have the right squad to win the competition. I just don't think we have the right manager. I'm sorry, I don't.
I think you're right. I agree with you. I've not really got an axe to grind, and I think what Gareth has done in terms of results has been great. My issue is the it's the results against the bigger teams. Like in terms of the World Cups and getting to the semi-finals, it's done. We're talking Ecuador, the teams, Serbia, Slovenia, Slovakia. They're all teams we should be beating. It's when we come up against the decent teams do we seem to all of a sudden forget how to play football, and it's always in a tournament. And I feel like there is
just on that point, Dan. Sorry to interrupt. I just think on that point, you go back to the World Cup when we played France. And I can remember watching it, and we were with them, and we were within touching distance of them until the penalty situation. But that's because of the way that we set up. We set up to close
we
quarters
invited them
and sort of,
to score those goals. Yeah,
yeah, and that was it. You know, it wasn't right.
they were there for the taking.
Yeah, we've got Kane, we've got Bellingham, we've got Foden, we've got go on, brain freeze, Gordon, we've got Saka. By the way, I have to say this: Saka was absolutely outstanding the other night.
Yes,
comfortably man of the match. Eze, Declan Rice, John Stones. People are lauding Pickford. We've got these players that can go and play, and they are going to play world-class football. They're going to play football and be coached by players. With due respect to Gareth Southgate, coached by managers, we do respect to Gareth Southgate, are operating on another level. They are. Yeah. They're operating on another level. Are. So, you know, it sounds like I'm getting after him, but if I'm walking out of a changing room or off a training field where Pep Guardiola is telling me how to play football, whatever he's saying, or Jurgen Klopp is telling me how to play football, or Carlo Ancelotti is telling me how to play football, and then I'm walking onto a football field in a fantastic facility at St George's Park with a fantastic setup that Gareth Southgate is the face of and the figurehead of, fine, but I can't go from there to there and expect any more. And I just think those better coaches, and I think certain people that I've mentioned before, I don't think we need a world-class manager. I don't think we need one of these former Premier League Championship managers or anything like that. There's a comment that's just been put up by Artemis 1984, Danny Rowe. I genuinely believe Danny Rowe would do a better job with that squad. He would do a better job with the squad of players that we've got than Gareth Southgate. And I know people that aren't Sheffield Wednesday affiliated would look at that and go, this guy's drunk and he's talking out his arse. I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. Danny Rule would do better with that England squad because he's been coached. He knows how to do it. And he'd get the shackles off. And rather than going, right, we're going to shut up shop. We're going to play three at the back. I'm going to put I'm going to play this wing back formation. I'm going to keep Kyle Walker in as a right centre off, and it's no axe to grind against Kyle Walker. We'd go, right, this is my formation. This is my philosophy. I've got Jude Bellingham, the best player in Spain. I've got Harry Kane, the highest goal scorer in Germany. I've got Phil Foden, who's pissed the Premier League. I'm going to find a way to make these players work and make it all tick. And if we get that working, Declan Rice is rightly he's earned his money this year. He's been absolutely brilliant for Arsenal. So we've got the insurance policy there as well. Go fucking let these players play. Go and find a way to make them tick.
Absolutely. I can't agree more. Hollie, do you have anything to add on that? It's clear that Stevie's got some feelings about that.
Well, yeah, because me and Stevie had this conversation a couple of weeks ago and I disagreed.
Has he just stolen all of your points? Has he stolen?
No, he hasn't. I disagree with him. I think that Gareth Southgate had to rebuild completely when he first started, and I think he's done absolutely great. He is the most successful manager that we've had for a really, really long time. Is the whole winning a penalty shootout is something that you can't even deny. You probably thought we were never actually going to do. Jordan Pickford has saved a penalty in every England shootout he has been in, every single one, right? And even, I mean, I know Ivan Toney is an enigma in its own way, but the players walking up and taking penalties like they do is because Southgate has enabled them to do that, because the pressure of England taking penalties is different. And I think, I probably would like to see Anthony Gordon a lot. And I do find myself saying, bring on Anthony Gordon every single time. In particular, Dan Fudge's favourite glow-up, Luke Shaw, is now available for the next game.
Stupid, sexy Luke Shaw. Coming in favourite glow-up. Living in my brain rent-free.
Yeah, exactly. But I will say, like, the big teams, you're saying the big teams are more reserved or whatever, but they know how to do it. And I think when Spain won in 2010 and then the following tournament, that 2010 tournament, everyone said were boring. They said Spain were rubbish. They were only winning 1-0 or whatever because they're holding it back and they're just doing what they need to do. And the whole Spain thing, when they went on that long period, that didn't just happen overnight. Spain were built up to that over a long period. And while they were doing that and winning everything, Italy were building up to that period that followed that. And maybe, we're staying pretty good, but not quite good enough. They're still all really young. So you just don't know whether we're at that point and then we're going to come really good soon. And you cannot take that away from Gareth Southgate. You can't say it's just happened by magic while Southgate's there, because we've watched really, really good players for England, really good players in 2000s and the 2010s achieve nothing, nowhere near it.
Right. Are we a better side now than we were in 2018?
2018 was one of the best times I've followed England. I absolutely adored 2018, and we had Maguire and Stones cutting out a hell of a partnership. Dele Alli was on fire. Even Jesse Lingard was really exciting. We're a different team compared to 2018, but there's a lot happened. Sorry, Ash, go on.
No, I was just saying, man for man, maybe not, but as a squad and a team, 2018 would have been better. But not man for man.
The reason I say that is everything should be incremental, and to Hollie's point, and I stand by what I've said. And people, there's been a couple of comments where people are saying we will be better because of Southgate rather than in spite of. Forgive me, I can't remember what the comment was. And I'm not, as much as I've said what I've said, I want us to be successful, and I actually think, and I think it was Ash said, we were poor Saturday night. I actually think we were a lot better than we have been. And Switzerland are a very underrated team. And I think Switzerland have played some good stuff. And we did all right the other night. I just think we should have a little bit more. And I just think that the pragmatism that we set up with wouldn't be had with certain other coaches. I just think we've got more in our locker. I think we have an absolute deficit at the back. The fact that we can only... Something has happened for us to say, right, if we're not going to have Luke Shaw, we're going to play a right back at left back. If I'm Ben Chilwell or I'm any other left back that's been playing Premier League football and doing bits this year that is English, off the top of my head, brain freeze, I can't think. I'd have took Chilwell because I think he's good enough to play at that level.
Injured, wasn't he?
No, I think he was. I think he was available.
Oh, I thought that was the reason.
I might be wrong. I think it was just time. But the point is, Shaw was injured, and now all of a sudden, and Shaw did well. Shaw did well the other night. He did. He came on and he made a difference.
I felt for Trippier. I've really felt for Trippier because he, for me, has got a lot of my vitriol, because him taking a step forward and then checking out and sending it backward again has been the cornerstone of the tepid, languid nonsense that we've been playing. But he is playing out of position, which makes you think, well, why do we pick another left back? Like, you know what I mean? Stupid, sexy Luke Shaw. Listen, I need to start wrapping this up because Ash is about to talk for a very long time, aren't you, Ash?
Well, I've got bits and pieces, but I was just going to say about England. I think the way we've been playing, it's not nice, but like I said, do you take winning a tournament over playing shite? If you fancy
100%, 100%.
Exactly
however we play, if we win on Sunday, if we win Wednesday, we win Sunday. Sorry to cut you off, mate.
No.
I don't care. Penalty shootout, in off their arses. Harry Kane's crap, and we managed to fluke an own goal in the 98th minute. I'm buzzing because, like I've said to you, it's going to be. This will be the point where I'll be sat Sunday night, fingers crossed, because we win on Wednesday. I'll be sat Sunday night with a beer, my daughter, watching the match, and if in 10 years' time, remember this, your Facebook memories and everything else, it's the stuff that we all want. It's the stuff we all hope for, we all dream of. Fan parks up and down the country with beers flying all over, everything going off in job lot. This is what we want because it's our national sport. It's what we do. It's, I don't care how it's done. I just want it to happen. And I just don't think it's going to happen with the current code. Sorry.
Fair enough. All right, then.
Mute me. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Whilst I send a group message out saying this is what we're pushed for time means don't push down, double down on the point for another 2 minutes, lads.
I'm on flight mode, mate.
I know, innit? Ash, this is the bit where I come to you about any other business. There is a lot to talk about. You're on mute right now. But in the meantime, Ashley, tell us about all of your things that you've got going on right now. Normally, this is a very quick segment. However, I feel this might go on. Make yourself comfortable. Oh, Christ, hang on. I didn't wrap up the segment.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Ash, talk to me about any other business.
We've got a bit of couple of things. You have missed out talking about the away kit launch, which is absolutely fantastic. But
fucking hell. Push for time, Ash. Push for time, Ash.
We aren't. We're not governed by 60 minutes, mate. We can go on a little longer.
We're in the TikTok generation. If we lose them for longer than 90 seconds, I mean, an hour's a slog as it is.
Nobody who's the TikTok generation is watching this.
Steadily increasing these numbers, Dan. If you look in the top left-hand corner, man, actually, if you find it. Anyway, so some of you might remember that a couple of weeks before the start of the Euros, we did a sweepstake. So there's a Euro sweepstake. There's 4 teams still in. Forgive me, I haven't got who's still in. Spain, France, England, and Netherlands. I know, mate. I've had a nightmare tonight. So whoever's in, well done.
Bring it up?
I don't know. It's in my list. So,
mate, I texted you at 4 o'clock and said, let's mention it tonight.
Let's mention it tonight. And you went, that's a good idea. And then he's gone, we've got a sweepstake. We don't know who's left, though.
But, look, I'm busy, man. I'm a bit.
Why did you bring it up?
Because it's on my list. It's on my list. So if it's on there, it's getting brought up. I'm not like you that drop things. Look, away kit is on the list. Away kit's on the list. But that weren't mentioned, was it?
We've gone off.
Are you Ron Burgundy? Is that what it is? If it's written on the teleprompter, it's getting said.
Right.
If anybody can remember who's got France, Spain, England, or Netherlands, can you make yourself known? And we'll give you a quick reference.
I've been away for a few weeks. I haven't been on for a while. All right, just cut me a little bit of slack. All right.
Go on, Ash. In fact, the last time you were on was when we picked the sweepstake.
Oh, yeah, I think it was
actually
wheel spin thing. That was great.
We're strapped for time. Move on.
See, naysayers. Tom's got Netherlands.
I think so, or is he just trying his chance?
We're 25% there. We're 25% there.
I've got England. I'm having England.
I am the rubbish.
Right, all right, I'll move on. Bloody hell, come on, we're pushed for time. Come on. If anyone's seen our social medias, I've pushed it quite a bit, but we had a raffle for the new home shirt. So we launched that £1 ago. It's all finished tonight. I'd love to tell you who won.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Please tell me if you don't know who's won.
Oh, God.
Have you not got that either? Have you not got that either?
I have got that. I have. Tom Williams, a guy called Tom Williams. I will be getting in touch with him. It was all drawn by the raffle company. He's got an email, so he knows he's won. But if he's on here, or if he's on watching back or anything, but congratulations, he's won himself.
It's the guy who's got.
Shirt.
He's on the chat.
Yeah, he's a right. Anyhow, so I won. Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Has Tom got one of the sweepstake people?
He's got Netherlands.
I'm gonna start just blaming someone at work. You know what I mean? Something goes wrong at work. I'm just probably Tom.
Slappy Gilmore's on Absolute Western Super, mate. I'm having an evening and a half. You don't know the half of it. What I've had to do tonight. So anyway, we've got the home raffle is finished. After all costs, cost of buying the shirt and the cost of the raffle company, we raised £161.20. So thank you very much, everyone who bought a ticket, and that's going to go to our community fund. And that's not going to stretch very far, as we've just seen the release of the match day tickets. So we're going to have to push our thing. Excuse me. I'm going to have to push it a bit more to get more money to be able to afford more tickets, because they're getting expensive, aren't they? So, yeah, thank you very much, everyone, for that. That's fantastic. I've launched the away kit. So the away kit's gone down extremely well with the fans. Like Hollie said, she's seen a lot of people wearing it at Alfreton. It's a cracking colour, and it's obviously a throwback to an earlier kit. So that has launched. That same £1 a ticket. Get on if you fancy a chance of winning. And I'll keep retweeting the link and everything. So that's another thing for us. Thank you very much. And probably the most important, Daniel, bit of news.
This is go serious now.
Serious.
This is a good bit of news. This is all right.
So if you've seen that Sheffield Wednesday ladies have got their team, and we are very happy, proud to announce that we are now the new sponsor of Amy Broomhead, striker for the Sheffield Wednesday ladies. So we are absolutely buzzing about that. It's fantastic. It's great to be involved with the ladies club. Obviously, you're going to get a lot more content, ladies content from us. And we're going to do a couple of podcasts and stuff. So, yeah, can't wait for it. It's going to be great. I think it's something that we're very privileged to be able to do. So, yeah.
Hopefully we can get Amy on the show, talk to her, because she scored an absolute hatful last season, didn't she? She
did. And
the ladies' team's quite fledgling as it is. We might send Hollie down just to shout some obscenities on the side, not because you're a lady and it's easy maths to do, just because you like swearing at people and you're very good at it.
Yeah, we've got lots of ideas for content and stuff. So Amy and some of the others from the ladies football club are going to come on the podcast as a bit of a maybe a monthly thing to keep up with what's going on with the ladies' results and how they're faring. So can't wait for that. It's great. So thank you to all that supports us and everything like that. It's fantastic, and it's good. Cheers.
Top work, Ash. So if you look on our socials, you can join in the raffle for the new away shirt. Were you about to add something there, Ashley? Sorry, sir.
Oh, mate. No, I'm all done.
Well, all right. Listen, thanks a lot for joining us this evening. You guys have been absolutely top banana. It looks like things are afoot, and they are absolutely going to be going well, and we're going to be playing Premier League football in a year's time. Put that on your podcast. And then that means we're Premier League then, right? Does that mean that that we're going to have to up the output and do our own work and our research and things like that? We're going to have to turn this into a professional show, lads.
We do that anyway, don't we? Do our research. You get all your ducks in a row like I have tonight.
I urge you to listen to the last 10 minutes. So listen, thanks a lot for joining us. Don't forget, I've been re-uploading some of our Owls alumni interviews. Most recently was a really great interview with Guy Whittingham from now the FA and Radio Hampshire. And we've had him on a couple of times now, and he's very good value on there. Now, just before I play the credits, I know that if you're listening out there in internet land, and during the credits, you'll probably just switch off. If you haven't seen this yet, it's one of my favorite things. So while the credits are playing, just wait for the bit where Simon starts listing off all of the socials on the end credits. Thanks a lot for joining us. See you later. Every week, live from 8 p.m. It's the Wednesday week, bringing you football analysis.
He came in. I think he scored a goal.
Bringing you banter.
Yeah.
Bringing you responsible life hacks.
Met you wonderful souls at 10 a.m. for some shots.
The Wednesday week. 1, 2, 3, 4 live. I normally just turn up and phone it in.
I'm a little bit older than you.
Like,
That zero's gone, that goose egg's gone.
Also featuring player interviews. It's Mr. Lee Bullen, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. John Harks, ladies and gentlemen. It's Captain Fantastic once again. It's Mr. Glenn Lubens. Oh, it's Mr. David Stockdale joining us this evening. It's Mr. Lloyd Owusu, ladies and gentlemen. He's joining us live on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Carlton Palmer. How's it going, CP? You all right? Available on all social medias.
Obviously, this goes out on YouTube and as well as all the other social media out there, podcasts, etc.
The Wednesday Week 24-25 season. Join us next season.
put on your podcast.